Good morning, LinkedIn family. Welcome to another Coffee with Bob. Today, I really have the distinct pleasure of welcoming retired Colonel Alan Landry to the show. He's got a great book out, Growing Mentor Intelligence: A Field Guide to Mentoring. And prior to the show, he and I were just talking about that. So I'm very excited that you're here with me, Colonel.
Well, thanks, Bob. It's in these virtual days, it's nice to have breakfast with anybody. So thank you for inviting me and giving me the chance to talk about something that I'm really passionate about. Have been my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually, it's interesting because I turned 68 in March, and people say, "Well, aren't you retired? And aren't you going to retire?" And I think we've got it kind of backwards here in the States. I spent 26 years in the military. I graduated from West Point. I'm a retired colonel, a combat veteran. And then I spent 10 years with Raytheon in strategy and business development stuff. And while I was there, I also did a lot of work in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and in business development and those kinds of things. And mentoring has always been a big deal for me. So in 2012, I retired from Raytheon, not to quit, but actually to focus on my passion, which is mentoring, and to grow my own, work for myself for a change, own my own calendar, and to be able to take the time and energy. You and I were talking earlier about what it takes to write a book, and
yeah,
I had a friend cold call me and say, "Al, you need to write a book on mentoring," and I said, "Yeah, no, I know, but I don't know how to do that." And she encouraged me. She said, "If you'll let me coach you, you can have a book out there in just a few months. We'll go through Amazon, CreateSpace, and so forth." And Bob, I listened to her, and with her encouragement, I had ill parents as well, so we were going back and forth to East Texas and visit them, but I had a lot of time to think. And in that period, I was able to put together the thoughts and write 30 different drafts of my first book called Growing Mentor Intelligence: A Field Guide to Mentoring, which I published in 2014. And then a year later, published a companion workbook in 2015. And the whole purpose was, just kind of by way of background, in my 26 years in the Army, I was privileged to be mentored by some of the world's greatest leaders in peace and war, in NATO peace support operations as well. And it was interesting because when I transitioned from the military to industry kind of took a different view toward mentoring. In the military, it's more egalitarian. Everyone is expected to be mentored.
Right.
Everyone is expected to have leadership potential, and it's the responsibility of the senior leaders and junior leaders to develop that raw material. I mean, that's the precious treasure of this great nation. Mm-hmm. America's families turn them over to us, and we grow them. And so I got to industry, and I was kind of like, okay, so what's your mentor program? And Raytheon's an incredibly fantastic company. So I was surprised to find that in general terms, that there wasn't a mentor program. Mentoring was kind of ad hoc. Mm-hmm. Some people did it, some people didn't. There was no structure. And the best mentoring seemed to come to those that were identified as high potentials, that 1 or 2% carved out at the top by the HR department. And I just felt like that was, because I'm a strategist as well, and I felt like that was an incredible waste of human potential. So I created a group called ELSWIG, Emerging Leader Strategy Work Group. We created an e-group as well as a real group, an in-person group. And it was to pull in multi-generational, but primarily Gen X and Gen Y people that had a hunger for mentoring and so forth. And had that for 5 years. By the time I retired, we had over 100 people signed up for it.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of the testimonials that are written in the back of my book that mean everything to me came from them. And it shows the power of mentoring when you create an authentic relationship with another person and you see the goodness in them and help them find their passion. My mentoring practice is perhaps a little different than most. It's number one, it's relationship based. Mm-hmm. It's not about solving a problem or trying to give you an answer about what you should or shouldn't do. It's really to try to help create lifelong strategies based on the unique person that you are each of us is unique. Each of us has unique gifts, and my purpose in life really is to help people find that noble purpose and then spend their life, because people are happy when they're doing what they were intended to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mentoring is so important. I remember when I was coming up in business, you know, if you had to ask people to help you out, to mentor you. And as I was telling you earlier, you know, I started out my career in sales, right? and I kind of fell into technology where I'm a CIO now. But early on, Gary Massell, he's passed away now, but he was my mentor in technology. He brought me along and taught me everything because and even without me asking him, he just like you said, saw some potential and just started molding. I think it's great. It's inspired me to try to be a mentor as much as I possibly can.
And you know, we all have that gift, and you reflect something that I hear from a lot of people. Well, I don't know where to start, or gosh, I don't know if I'm good enough to be a mentor. I don't know if I have the right personality and so forth. Well, you know, you can tell from 2 minutes with me how extroverted I am. And so one of the cheapest cop-outs in the world is for all the introverts to say, well, that's just Al. He's just got this effervescent, you know, personality. And I got to tell you, it's upside down. It's harder for me to be a mentor because mentoring, especially using mentor intelligence, is more about listening.
Right. Yeah.
Than it is about talking. So all you introverts out there listening to me, you got an advantage. You really do. And the thing about it is just, you know, what sparked our connection was this article I read on LinkedIn about intersections. And I actually call that grace in action, because you never know when a person's going to come across your life where you will have an opportunity to change their world, and they can have the opportunity to change yours as well. And so I don't believe so much in coincidences. I call this grace in action. So anytime I get an invite to do something like this, I'm like, wow, okay, so Bob's going to have breakfast with me, and we're going to get to spread the word about mentoring, how important it is, how you can mentor, you can grow in your own journey, and you can change not only your world, but the world of other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And it's something that I really do believe in. When you talk about intersections, I mean, we both belong to the Top Ambassadors program, and that's how we got connected. And if you look at my profile, I highlight it. I always say, even in these conversations, it takes one connection to change a life. I truly believe that, and that's one of the main reasons why I do this. And Colonel, I really think you are that one connection that's going to change a lot of lives. I want to thank you for being on with me. I really appreciate it. You're an amazing young man. I love your energy, and I love what you're doing when it comes to mentoring intelligence. That's just incredible.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. And like you said, all it takes is saying yes to that one intersection instead of saying no. And the more yeses that we throw out there in the world, the bigger difference we're going to make. We're going to heal the nation. We're going to heal ourselves. We're gonna change the world by finding that potential and growing it. So thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. If you're not connected with Colonel here, make sure you look him up. He'll be tagged in this post, of course. Connect with him, follow him, engage with him. He's that one connection. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care. Be good.